welcome to the Teradek booth at IBC 2013 for our final newsshooter.com live show for this year. I'm joined as ever by our technical editor, Mr. Matthew Allard, ace cameraman, sometime blogger, sometime anyway, so he's over there. And our first guest for today, Mr. Mike Tapper of MTF Services. What does MTF stand for?
Well, obviously MT stands for Mike Tapper.
So what's the F? I have a few guesses.
Yeah, there's been a few guesses. Some of them have been a bit rude, but it could be anything. It could be mainly film, but when I registered the company, it just sounded good. Obviously MTF, for people that are into lenses, usually means...
modular transference function.
Exactly.
Sorry,
I thought,
geeky.
No problem. So I thought, why not use it?
Okay, so what have you got this year that's new?
Okay, well, I've got a slight update
let's see.
to something that we had up and running 2 years ago. It's actually the second anniversary of the Canon EF Adapter that we had for 3 different cameras.
So what this allows you to do is use a Canon EOS lens.
Yes.
On something that isn't a Canon EOS.
Exactly.
And in this case, it's a Sony f3, but it could be a Micro Four Thirds camera.
Yeah. I mean, we made it a modular system. So basically, there's a Canon EF for 3 different Canon EF adapters. One for the FZ mount, which it's known as now, and Sony E mount and Micro Four Thirds. All 3 working with one control box. If I just turn that on here, hopefully that should fire up. And there we have aperture control in 1/8 of a stop increments.
See if we can get it with this little camera here. Can we see that? Yeah, there we go.
And obviously it also displays your focal length. So if you've got a prime lens, it will show what lens you've got, and if you've got a zoom, it will show you where you are in the zoom range. The other neat little thing about this gadget is if your lens is equipped with image stabilization, Dan, you can see the switch there.
Oh, I get the camera again. There
yeah,
we go.
If you can
so the IS switch on the camera, like anybody who's got a Canon IS lens will know.
I think that's off, so if you turn that on...
Right, that's on.
That's on.
Now we turn around to here. Oh look, there's a little S.
There's a little S, so now that's stabilised. Now, the unit that we had first shown 2 years ago was powered by 4 AA batteries.
Yeah, I actually had that unit for a little bit to try.
Yes,
I took it to Africa.
Right.
And shot some Maasai warriors with it.
Fantastic.
Well, not shot, I used it to film some Maasai warriors. And anyway, but it was a bit of a lump.
Bit of a lump, yes.
It worked very nicely, but this is much more, I mean, let's see it from the side, it's pretty svelte nowadays. Yeah, I mean, the other one used to be back here somewhere, this is, and you could actually put this flush against the rig now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now it's externally powered, which meant we could reduce the size considerably.
So where does this end up?
Well, at the moment, that's running off a D-tap.
Yeah.
So it's a D-tap to 4-pin Hirose, or Hirose. But we also have a cable that allows you to power it off the back of an F5 or F55. So it's a 4-pin to 4-pin.
So in the power tap that runs out the back of the F55?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the main thing about this unit as opposed to the old one is, well, the old one, people were, quite often leaving their stabilisation turned on, which did kill the batteries fairly quickly. Now with this, with the external power, you can have the stabilisation on.
That's one thing I found running off AAs. Stabilisation was great while it lasted until the whole thing ran out.
Exactly.
And it's changed batteries out.
So now you can have it on all the time and not worry about it.
Okay. What mounts is this available apart from the FZ mount?
Micro Four Thirds and Sony E mounts.
NEX cameras?
NEX, yeah. So FS 700, 100, whatever.
Okay.
And as far as I know, this is the only product where it actually displays the focal length.
Right.
So it was
how accurate is that display of that?
It's the increments are 1/8 of a stop.
Right.
So it's not totally smooth. but the 1/8 of the stop is the limit of the resolution of the motors that run the aperture in the lenses.
Hey, can we show Matt over here? Our expert opinion provided by Matt. You can take it over there. It's okay. Matt, have you used one of these?
No, I haven't actually used one of these, but I do have one of Mike's original MTF adapters to go from Nikon to FZ.
Yeah, we should say Mike also makes, apart from this electronic adapter, he makes a whole slew of mechanical ones, which most people know if they're in the F55, F5 circle.
And as you were saying before, because it's an electronic lens and you've got no way of knowing what the f-stop is, most of the other adapters out there on the market, you're just guessing. You've got no idea what f-stop you might be at, which is tricky because if you're in a situation where suddenly the clouds come across or you're moving around into different conditions, you may already be wide open, you don't know, you try and open it up even further and you can't. At least here you've got a display option, so at least you can see what your f-stop is and you can adjust it accordingly. So I think it's probably the best solution that's out there, and I guess this has become more popular again, seeing the F5 and the F55 now share the same FZ mount as the F3.
But that's right, and in actual fact, all of our adapters that used to fit the F3, all of a sudden they've become, well, they were always popular, but with the two new cameras, and I hear rumours that there are even more cameras coming.
Oh, really? You can tell us more. What rumours have you heard?
No, I can't really say anymore, but there's a couple of little things that I heard back when I was at NAB, that Sony want to make the FZ mount a bit of a standard, so there may be more.
Well, they seem to be doing that already. In all honesty, it seems to have become standard.
And it's a really good mount. It's a proper mount with a lock ring, so it's reliable. And
actually, while I've got you here, I digress slightly. Let's talk a little bit about mounts and tolerances and what makes a good mount. What PL is the industry standard.
Yes.
Why is that? Why use that over EF or anything else?
Well, the thing is with PL mounts and B4 mounts and the FZ mounts is the mount goes into the camera and there's a lock ring that locks the mount in place. So it's held up against the seating face of the camera, nice and tight. It doesn't move around. That's what you want. Whereas with photographic lenses, there's a bit of a drawback where they just go in and they turn, and you rely on the tension within the mount to hold it in place. So they're not 100% ideal. Some are better than others, but when it comes to the lenses and the different adapters that go into those mounts, you want something that's made really accurately, it will be as tight as you can get away with. Because if it's going to flop around, you're going to notice it every time you pull focus or pull zoom or whatever.
Yeah, what goes wrong? You don't hit the right. What are the issues? Or what could possibly be wrong with a sloppy mount?
Well, mainly it's tolerances, the way the mount is manufactured.
So how does that manifest itself in terms of?
Once the mount is on, you'll notice that it goes on pretty easily. But you'll also notice that it might rock up and down a little bit, or when you focus or zoom, it actually twists slightly. So that you want to try and avoid that. So you make it as tight as you can.
I've used lots of mounts, different people. I've had some of your early ones, had some of your current ones, which are very good. The other manufacturers I've tried, especially ones from perhaps Asia. Not so, perhaps. We're okay with the FZ mount, but with the Micro Four Thirds and E mounts that we do, the actual part that goes into the camera on our adapters are made from stainless steel, and they're made really accurately. The tolerances are plus or minus 0.02 of a millimetre, that sort of thing. So they're about as tight as they can be. Which means your infinity mark, if your lens is set up properly, is likely to be at infinity.
That bit's easy, but the part that's tricky is to make it tight enough so that it doesn't move around.
Right. Okay, Mike, thank you so much for bringing that on.
Thank you.
You're desperate to get off, so you're racing to get off there. But thank you so much.
Thanks.
And how much is this?
This is a prototype, this new slimmer version. When it goes into production, all of the mounts are £350, and the control box is £745.
Just over £1,000
Yeah,
for the set.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And everybody else will be right back right after this break.